Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My dear students, I hope you people will be fine. My dear students, I am Dr. Fariha, Assistant Professor in Pharmacology. Today is my first online lecture with you people. Today's lecture is Route of Drug Administration, and that is part one of Route of Drug Administration. I hope you people should stay safe and stay in the home as well as you should listen to your online lectures daily and do the assignment on time. Please submit the assignment on time because it is necessary for your attendance. I'm going to start the lecture now. First of all, I will tell what are the learning objectives or what are the learning outcomes of the today's lecture. I think people are familiar with the term learning objectives. Learning objectives are actually the learning outcomes which the student should know by the end of the lecture. So by the end of the lecture, students will be able to classify different routes of administration of drug. The students will be able to understand advantages and disadvantages of every route of administration of drug, different factors affecting the route of administration, what is first pass effect or first pass metabolism. The route of administration of drug is actually determined by the properties of the drug and by the therapeutic objectives. Uh, the route differ according to the therapeutic objectives which has to be achieved in a certain patient. So choice of appropriate route depends both on drug as well as patient related factors. Basically, there are two major routes of drug administration, that is antral and parenteral. There are other routes as well, but major routes are two, antral and parenteral. Other routes are as well like inhalation route, topical route, transdermal route. I will discuss in detail one by one. Now, what are the factors which affect the route of drug administration? Physical and chemical properties of the drug will affect the route of drug administration, that is, which form the drug is present. Either the drug is present in the solid form, liquid form, and gas form. And next factor is the solubility of the drug, that either the drug is lipid soluble or not. Next factor is stability of the drug, that is, the drug is stable in the stomach acidic pH or not. Next, the pH of the drug as well as pH of the medium also affect the route of drug administration. Next, irritancy of the drug, that is, the drug is irritant or not. It will also affect the route of drug administration. Next, site of desired action, at which site action has to be achieved or action has to be desired. That is, the either the action is localized and approachable, or the action is generalized and not approachable. It will affect the route of drug administration. Next, what is the rate and extent of absorption of the drug? Rate and extent of absorption of the drug will also affect the route of drug administration, and it is different from different routes. Now, the other factors which affect the route of drug administration, digestive juices and first pass effect also have effect on route of drug administration because it will affect the metabolism of the drugs. Rapidity with which the response is desired or rapidity which the response has to be achieved. That is, the physician will decide either it is the routine treatment or it is an emergency. So in both the cases, the route of drug will be differ, and the accuracy of the dosage required. Like in case of IV administration or intravenous and inhalation, it will provide fine tuning. Next and last is the condition of the patient. Condition of the patient will also affect the route of administration. Either the patient is conscious, unconscious, or he or she is vomiting. So these are all the factors which will affect the route of drug administration. Now, first pass effect. What is first pass effect? This term should be should students, this term you should understand this term before starting the lecture. Okay, what is first pass effect? It is metabolism of a drug during its passage from the site of absorption into the systemic circulation. All the drugs are exposed to drug metabolizing enzymes in intestinal wall and liver. That is, the drug first reached through the portal vein to the liver. First pass metabolism is a pre-systemic metabolism in gut and liver, but it is avoided by sublingual route, transdermal route, and parenteral routes. And in topical routes, it is also first pass effect is also avoided. जी, अब आप लोगों के लिए इजी लैंग्वेज में कि सबसे पहले जो भी ओरल ड्रग्स हैं पेशेंट ने माउथ के थ्रू ली, उसके बाद ड्रग अब्जॉर्ब होगी आइदर इन द स्टोमक में और स्मॉल इंटेस्टाइन में। उसके बाद ड्रग सिस्टेमिक सर्कुलेशन में अब्जॉर्ब होगी, जहाँ पे वो अपने साइट ऑफ एक्शन पे जाके अपना एक्शन शो करेगी। लेकिन इनके दरमियान में भी एक प्रोसेस है जिसे फर्स्ट पास इफेक्ट कहते हैं। जब ड्रग अब्जॉर्ब हो जाती है स्टोमक में या स्मॉल इंटेस्टाइन में, उसके बाद पोर्टल वेन के थ्रू पहले लीवर में जाएगी, ठीक है, जहाँ पे थोड़ा सा ड्रग, थोड़ा ये डिपेंडिंग अपॉन द ड्रग, या मेटाबॉलिज्म थोड़ा होगा या ज़्यादा होगा, इट विल डिपेंडिंग अपॉन द ड्रग, ठीक है। इट विल फर्स्ट मेटाबोलाइज इन द लिवर एंड देन अब्जॉर्ब इन द systemic circulation, and it from the systemic circulation it will reach its site of action. तो उसने अपना एक्शन करने से पहले थोड़ा सा मेटाबोलाइज होगी, जिसे हम कहेंगे फर्स्ट पास इफेक्ट। और जब एक्शन कर लिया तो ड्रग का मेटाबॉलिज्म होगा, फाइनली एलिमिनेशन एंड एक्सक्रीशन। तो ड्रग जो अब्जॉर्प्शन से पहले या अपना एक्शन शो करने से पहले जो मेटाबॉलिज्म होगा उसको कहेंगे फर्स्ट पास इफेक्ट। ये आप लोगों में टेस्ट में मेरे ख्याल में मैंने बहुत से स्टूडेंट से क्वेश्चन किया, फर्स्ट पास इफेक्ट की डेफिनेशन बहुत कम लोगों को सही प्रिपेयर की हुई थी आप लोगों ने। तो इट इज़ अ मेटाबॉलिज्म ऑफ अ ड्रग डूइंग इट्स पैसेज फ्रॉम द साइट ऑफ एब्जॉर्प्शन इनटू द सिस्टेमिक सर्कुलेशन। और फर्स्ट पास इफेक्ट लिवर में भी हो सकता है, इसके अलावा कुछ ड्रग्स का फिर फर्स्ट पास इफेक्ट इंटेस्टाइन में भी हो सकता है। So students, if you are watching that diagram, if you people see, the drug is taken by the mouth, and then the drug reaches the stomach or the small intestine. Either the drug is absorbed in the stomach or the small intestine. First, the drug, after absorption into the stomach or small intestine, the drug is taken to the liver via the portal vein, where some metabolism occur in the liver, and then it is absorbed into the systemic circulation, where it goes to their site of action. So that metabolism which occur in the liver, that is known as first pass metabolism, and that metabolism can also occur in the intestinal wall. And limited pre-systemic metabolism or first pass effect can also occur in the skin as well as in the lungs. Extent of first pass metabolism differs for different drugs. First pass metabolism determine the oral bioavailability. Oral dose is higher than sublingual or parenteral dose. So, in case of first pass metabolism, it does not occur in case of sublingual route or parenteral route. So, the in case of drugs which exhibit high first pass effect, their oral dose must be high and as compared to their parenteral dose, because a sufficient amount of dose is lost in the first pass metabolism. The drugs which show exhibit high first pass effect. So I also tell you before I also tell you that the first pass effect is different for different drugs. Some drugs exhibit high first pass effect while some drugs exhibit small first pass effect. The drugs which exhibit high first pass effect, their oral dose should be in sufficient quantity or their oral dose should be high as compared to their parenteral dose, because in case of parenteral route of drug administration, there will be no first pass effect. Like lidocaine, they should exhibit high first pass effect, like propranolol, benzyl penicillin, imiprine, morphine, propranolol, buprenorphine. If these drugs are given by IV route, uh, their dose will be different as compared to the route when they are given by oral route, because they exhibit high first pass effect. And high first pass effect is avoided in case of certain route like sublingual route. First pass effect is avoided. Then in case of parental route, first pass effect is also. Now the route of administration. Basically, I tell you that two most important route of administration, that is antral routes and parental routes. Antral routes include sublingual or buccal route, oral route, and rectal route. And then parental routes, most common parental injections include intravascular, which further divided into intravenous and intraarterial. Then subcutaneous injection and intramuscular. Now, the less common injections include less common parenteral routes include intradermal injection, in which the drug is injected in the dermis, intrathecal injection, in which the drug is injected into the cerebrospinal fluid, intrapituitary injection, where the drug is injected into the peritoneum, intraarticular injection, where the drug is injected into the articular cartilage of the joint, intracardiac injection, where the drug is injected into the heart, in the bone marrow, the drug is sometime the drug has to be injected in the bone marrow, and then the intrapleural injection or intrapleural route. So these are the less common injections. Next route of drug administration is the pulmonary route, or the drugs taken via the inhalational route. Next, the drugs which are applied to the skin. These are further divided into two routes: the topical route, which is for local effect, and transdermal route, which is for systemic effect. And next, it also comes under the application to the mucous membranes. It also comes under the topical route because it is for local effect. The drugs which are instilled into the conjunctiva, like the drugs which are put into the nasopharynx in the form of nasal drops, the drugs which are taken in the oropharynx in the form of oral drops, like Nilstat oral drops, drugs which are applied in the mucous membranes of the vagina, urethra, and urinary bladder and colon. Next, antral routes. Now we will discuss in detail the antral routes. Sublingual, patient ने जबान के नीचे रखनी है tablet या medicine. Next, oral route, and finally rectal route. Now the oral route, it is the most common and ancient method of drug administration. Drug given by this route, they are either in the solid dosage form or in the liquid dosage forms. Solid dosage forms include powders, tablets, and capsules. And the liquid dosage forms include syrups, certain emulsions, and mixtures. Oral drugs are easily self-administered, and oral route limit the number of systemic infections. Some drugs are absorbed from the stomach. However, duodenum is a major site of entry to the systemic circulation because duodenum has the large absorptive surface. So it is the major site of entry to the systemic circulation. Ingestion of certain drugs with food or in combination with the other drugs can influence the absorption of drug. Some drugs are absorbed more in the empty stomach, while some drugs are absorbed more after eating the food. So the ingestion of food will affect the absorption of drugs. And some drugs are better absorbed in the acidic medium, while some drugs are better absorbed in the basic medium. Actually, when the acidic drugs are better absorbed in the acidic medium, that is the stomach, and the basic drugs are better absorbed in the uh, basic medium, like small intestine. Most drugs absorbed from the GI tract enter the portal circulation and encounter the liver before they are distributed into the general circulation, and their first pass effect will take place. I have already told you in detail what is first pass effect. These drugs undergo first-pass metabolism in the liver, where they may be extensively metabolized before entering the systemic circulation. Now, first-pass effect, it will differ according to the drugs. Different drugs have different first-pass effect. Some drugs exhibit high first-pass effect, and some drugs exhibit low first-pass effect or small first-pass effect. Drugs that exhibit first-pass metabolism should be given in sufficient quantity to ensure that enough of the active drug reaches the target organ. Now, what are the advantages of the oral route? Oral route is safer. It is preferably safer and it is less expensive or cheap for the patient. The medicines, oral medicines are less expensive. It is painless and patient can easily self-administer it. It is convenient for repeated use. It can be easily self-administered. Now, what are the disadvantages of the oral route? Disadvantages is that it is not suitable for emergency as onset of action is slow. First, the drug is absorbed, and then the first pass metabolism occur. Then it will go absorb into the general circulation where it go into their site of action, and then it perform the action. So its onset of action is slow and limited of their via oral route there will be limited absorption of some drug. It will also come under the disadvantage. That point come under the disadvantage of the oral route. Next, food may affect the absorption of drugs. Next, patient compliance is necessary. Cooperation of the patient is necessary for the oral route. Drugs may be metabolized before systemic absorption, that is due to first pass effect. That is also the disadvantage of the oral route. And the oral route cannot be used in case of uncooperative patient, unconscious patient, or the patient is vomiting. So these are the disadvantages. एग्जाम्स में आपके एडवांटेजेस और डिसएडवांटेजेस डिफरेंट रूट्स के पूछे जाते हैं और आई थिंक कि कैरसन रिव्यू में ये टॉपिक बहुत छोटा सा दिया हुआ है तो लेक्चर आप लोग प्लीज़ डिटेल में इसको देखिए ठीक है नेक्स्ट रूट इज सबलिंगुअल रूट drug is held under the tongue or held in the mouth and when it is held under the tongue it enters the systemic circulation directly through the sublingual vessels so it avoid the first pass effect. Okay, why it avoid the first pass effect? Because it enters the systemic circulation through the sublingual vessels directly. Drugs given by these routes are the drugs which are used in angina like nitroglycerin and isosorbide dinitrate and nifedipine is the capsule. Its powder is also powder of nifedipine is put under the tongue for the control of hypertension. Now the placement under the tongue allows the drug to diffuse into the capillary network and therefore enter the systemic circulation directly. Administration through the sublingual route has several advantages. Like due to sublingual route, absorption of drug is rapid and there will be immediate pharmacological effects. इसको हाइपरटेंशन में इमरजेंसीज में बहुत ज़्यादा यूज़ करते हैं ठीक है और इसको भी थोड़ा एहतियात से यूज़ करते हैं कि अगर पेशेंट हाइपरटेंशन का है ये बहुत जल्दी हाइपरटेंशन भी करवाता है तो अकॉर्डिंगली उस फिजिशियन उसकी कंडीशन को देखते हुए इमरजेंसीज में ये रूट बहुत ज़्यादा यूज़ होता है पेशेंट को अगर अंजाइना का अटैक है ठीक है हाइपरटेंशन का पेशेंट है तो ये सबलिंगुअल रूट यूज़ करते हैं बिकॉज ड्यू टू द इमीडिएट फार्माकोलॉजिकल इफेक्ट. Next advantage is that it is the convenience of administration, that it is easy for the patient to administer herself or himself. There is low chance or low incidence of infection from the sublingual route. And then avoidance of first pass metabolism. Next, it bypasses the destruction by the stomach acid because it is directly absorbed in the systemic circulation, so it has not to go into the stomach and then get absorbed. So it bypasses the destruction by the stomach. Next, disadvantages. This route is limited to certain types of drugs. It is limited to drugs that can be taken in only small doses. And so the main this is a limiting factor because it can be this route is reserved for the drugs which can be taken in small doses and may be unpleasant tasting of the drug for the patient. It is also the disadvantage. And next, patient cooperation must be needed for this route. And then only lipid soluble and non-irritating drugs can be administered via the sublingual route. Next, antral route is rectal route. Certain irritant and unpleasant drugs can be put into the rectum. This route is not used routinely nowadays. So sometimes this route is used like in constipation in children. Drug placed in rectum in form of suppositories, retention enema like in children this route is used if the child is constipated for some days and if he or she is uncomfortable, then glycerin suppository is put into the rectum, and after 1 or 2 hours, constipation is relieved. Drugs may be used for local action, or through this route, drugs may be used for local action like suppositories, and it may be used for systemic effect, like in case of analgesics for the relief of pain. But I have already told that this route is not commonly used nowadays. Drugs given are include diazepam and ergotamine. Ergotamine is a painkiller, and diazepam is an anti-epileptic drug, and it's also sedative and hypnotic drug. Next, advantages of rectal route. It can be used in unconscious patient, in elderly, and in children. And it can be used in patients who is vomiting, he or she is vomiting, uh, then this route is chosen. It is good for drugs affecting the bowel, like laxative. I have already told that uh, the drugs, this route can be selected if the drugs have to be effective on the bowel, like laxatives, which laxatives are the drugs which relieve the constipation, like glycerin suppositories are used in cases of children who have the problem of constipation. Next, what is the effect of first? Either the first pass effect will occur in this case or not. 50% of the absorbed drugs bypass the first pass effect. Now, in this rectal route, 50% of the absorbed drugs bypass. ओके 50% इसमें फर्स्ट पास इफेक्ट होगा। ये आप लोगों के एमसीक्यू में बहुत पूछा जाता है कि किस रूट में 50% ड्रग्स फर्स्ट पास इफेक्ट अवॉइड करेगी, वो रेक्टल रूट है। Next, disadvantages of rectal route. It is not a routinely used route. Absorption is slower, irregular, and often unpredictable in the rectal route. Rectal inflammation can result from certain irritant drugs, although it is a rare disadvantage, but it can occur. It could be embarrassing for the patient. So this route is not routinely used nowadays. 50% of the drug is being metabolized by first pass effect. This is also common to the disadvantage. Next, now parental route. Parental route is the most important route because that route is used in our medical emergencies. The parental route introduces drugs directly across the body barrier defenses into the systemic circulation. Parental route is used for drugs that are poorly absorbed from the GIT tract and for certain agents that are unstable in the GIT tract. Parenteral administration is used for the treatment of unconscious patients or for the conditions that require a rapid onset of action. They have highest bioavailability and are not subject to first pass metabolism. As I have already told you that first pass metabolism does not occur in case of parenteral route, because in case of parenteral route, the drugs are directly absorbed into the systemic circulation. They have not to be, like in case of oral route, the drugs are first absorbed and then they are subjected to first metabolism in the liver, and then they finally get into the systemic circulation. That thing is not happening in the parental route. Parental route may cause like pain, fear, and infections. So this is a disadvantage of the parental route. Now the types of parental route: intramuscular injection, subcutaneous injection, intravenous injection, intradermal injection. These are the most common parental route. And abhi third year में you people will go to the ward. Intramuscular injection, um, the angle, the 90 degree of angle will be formed by the needle and the patient. Intramuscular injection में 90 डिग्री का एंगल जो होता है बनता है पेशेंट की बॉडी के साथ नीडल का. And in the subcutaneous injection, 45 angle of 45 degree will be made. Intravenous injection, angle of 25 degree will be made, and intradermal injection, angle of 10 to 15 degree will be made. इंट्रोमस्कुलर इंजेक्शन कहाँ पे ड्रग देनी है? 90 डिग्री के एंगल पे मसल में. एंड सबकुटेनियस इन्फेक्शन इंजेक्शन में 45 डिग्री के एंगल पे सबकुटेनियस टिश्यू में ड्रग जानी चाहिए. नेक्स्ट इंट्रावेनस में वेन में इंजेक्शन लगेगा और एंगल 25 डिग्री का बनता है. नेक्स्ट इंट्रोडर्मल इंजेक्शन 10 टू 15 डिग्री का इंजेक्शन होगा, सॉरी एंगल होगा, और इंट्रोडर्मल इंजेक्शन डर्मस में लगता है. Next, parenteral injection. Most common parenteral injections, as I already told you, intravascular, which will further divide into intravenous and intra-arterial, then subcutaneous and intramuscular, and then less common injections, intradermal, intrathecal, intraperitoneal, etc. Now the assignment for today. What is first pass effect? Enumerate two disadvantages of oral route. And finally question is enumerate two advantages of sublingual route. Now this is the intrathecal and intra-articular injection. Intrathecal injection. Intrathecal injection, it is the drug is injected into the cerebrospinal fluid, and it has used for both diagnostic as well as therapeutic purpose. Then intra-articular injection. This injection is the drug is injected into the articular cartilage of the joint. Intracardiac injection drug is injected directly into the heart.